Welcome to Bay Focus. It's so great having you today. I'm excited to tune in, ready to go. We have two ministries today. The No More Foundation is doing amazing things combating human trafficking and also working with foster care, and they've got an exciting event coming up. We're going to talk to them in a moment. But Hope Seeds International is here as well to share what they're doing around the world, planting seeds literally in the ground, missions organizations. You want to hear about it. But let's start today with the No More Foundation. Take a look.
It all started with two simple words: no more. In a world where vulnerabilities can be misunderstood, overlooked, or even ignored, No More connects people to care.
Today we are faced with alarming statistics. 20 million people are enslaved more than any other time in human history. Roughly 143 million orphans, over 500,000 in the U.S. foster care system, and 11% of U.S. families live below the poverty line, not to mention the rest of the world. It's overwhelming to think about, but at No More, we believe that community transformation is found at the intersection where awareness and mobilization meet.
Our mission is simple. We want to move 1 million Christians to action to serve the vulnerable. And with strategic initiatives, our focus is to help orphan and at-risk children in the foster care system, those in poverty, and victims of human trafficking.
We do this by providing direct opportunities for individuals, businesses, and churches to be educated and connected to serve through trainings, events, and outreaches.
After our awareness events, 97% of people sign up to take action. The desire to do good and create community change is there. Many people just need their next right step.
And we're committed to doing whatever it takes to equip people to be the hands and feet of Jesus to those in need. So join us today and be a part of the movement. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we declare no more.
Well, that gives you a little bit of a look at the No More Foundation. We're going to give you some more information today because we have the co-founder with us here in the studio as well, Tammy Kent. Welcome back, Tammy.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Great to have you. And we saw a little bit of the overview of the ministry there in the video. But for our viewers that maybe are hearing from you for the first time, meaning if you give us the overview in terms of bring us up to date, all the different arms that you do.
Sure.
We saw a little bit of that video, but bring us up to date.
So we wrap the words No More around 3 strategic initiatives focused on families living below the poverty line, orphans and at-risk children in the foster care system, and human trafficking victims, providing housing and survivor support and even training the community in prevention, how they can prevent this atrocity from happening in the first place. And the reason for that is because where you find poverty, you find vulnerabilities, greater numbers of addiction, homelessness, numbers of children removed from their home due to abuse, neglect, and abandonment. And where those vulnerabilities exist, exploitation occurs. And we see that in 60% of U.S. human trafficking victims having a history in the foster care system. That's an alarming statistic. It means that a majority of the people that are struggling in all of the spaces are coming from places where they didn't have safe and loving homes, where they weren't protected. And so we need to come alongside and really help the community figure out where they fit in that. And for us, we are a mobilization organization. We want to bring awareness, but then we want to connect people to tangible action steps. 'Cause most people want to do something. They just don't know how, where, when, and sometimes even why these issues exist. And so we like to not only educate, but then really provide those action steps, because it's where awareness and mobilization meet that community change happens.
Well, yeah, and you did such a great job to tell us about the problem, and this connectivity. That's the one thing that how poverty can breed this, and kids can end up in foster care, can end up in traffic, all these things, and you're trying to address it. So you've done some things that would say we could label as the solution.
Sure. We find the solution is connecting the community. So it's not just bringing awareness events to really help, like I said, educate people and then connect them to local organizations. But we are also working on restoration, helping provide housing and survivor support for those women that come out of the trafficking situations. And then we do a significant amount of community-wide training, and that's different. So training is different than an awareness event. At an awareness event, you might hear stories of survivors, stories of children that have come out of the system of care. But an HT training is where we come into your business, your church, your civic organization, and we lay out like what is happening in our community. How can you protect your children, your neighbors, your community, and really step in, giving people the tools they need so that if they see something, they can say something. And so through those three avenues, we really are helping connect people to care.
So all, like you were referring to these events, the training, you're doing some very tangible things, trying to get families, when you do these events and you do you go to churches, et cetera, and you do this, no more, there's a particular name for you go into
the No More Orphans experience.
Yes, No More Orphans experience. You're getting people involved.
Yeah,
in a variety of
statewide.
ways.
Yeah, statewide. And we've seen over 6,000 families step up to foster, adopt, advocate as guardian ad litems and mentors and serve children and families in need. Because if we can keep the families that are struggling together, we can prevent kids from ever entering in the system of care to begin with. But if we can make sure that when those kids get to that place where they are vulnerable, that they have safe and loving homes to provide that. I mean, we heal in home. We all do. And so if we can provide that, then we can prevent them from ever becoming the victims of human trafficking. But then if we can provide those safe and loving homes for those victims who've come out of these horrific situations, we can break the generational cycle.
Yes.
Because many of the victims, their parents, their grandparents even have cycled through this. And so we're stepping in and saying, no more.
No more.
Not on my watch. It's not happening.
And there's so many ways people can come alongside.
Yeah.
Even if they can't necessarily be a foster parent, there's so many support things
100%.
that they can do.
We've seen 135,000 people trained just in the greater Tampa Bay area how to spot the signs. We have seen over 475 women have received safe housing and survivor support through our programs that are in partnership with other organizations. Like these survivor homes that we fund, it's in partnership with Created. They're the experts, they're the boots on the ground, and we're coming together in collaboration to really tackle this issue. And I think collaboration is key. That's why if you come to the No More Orphans experience or another one of our awareness events, we're going to be telling the stories, we're going to be helping provide that awareness, but you're going to find 12, 15 organizations locally, some who've been on your show, like Better Together and Care Portal, Guardian Ad Litem, that are there, Safe Families, ready to plug people in to what they can do. And there are so many more. So
well, and then you have, so you mentioned the, you're definitely into the homes that you're doing. So you've got things that are happening that are coming up.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, we just recently, June 26th, opened our 4th survivor home. So we have opened, like I said, in partnership with Created, 4 survivor homes in 4 years. We've increased the number of beds for survivors of human trafficking by 400%. And we've just scratched the surface. I mean, we need at least 200 beds statewide to really meet the current need and ensure that if any women are ready to come out of these places where they have been held and trapped, and if they're ready to find freedom, that there's a safe bed for them, that there is a program that is working, that will help them walk through restoration to healing. So that's super exciting. I mean, that house opened June 26th. It was filled by June 28th. Yeah. And that just shows the importance and the necessity of that. But we've got a new home potentially coming online in the next month. Again, as partners and individuals and businesses are seeing what's happening, they're going, I got a home. Wait, I want to be a part of this solution. Yeah. And that's it. Like, we want to help people be a part of the solution, not just talk about the problem, but how can we solve this together?
Yeah, and all of this takes resources.
Yes.
And how you do this, and because you are a nonprofit, so this is something that people need to come alongside, and you partner with organizations. But you have a very special event
Yes,
coming
we do.
up. Tell us
yes,
about
we
it.
do. Our gala this year, the theme is Give Back to the Future. And so we're leaning into that a little. Who knew that this was going to be the 40th anniversary of the movie? So it's actually going to be in theaters a week after our gala.
Oh, my
it's going to be so much fun. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Auto Museum, who are driving a DeLorean and parking it out front so people can have pictures. But it's going to be so much fun. I mean, the work we do is heavy, right? The issues can be heavy, but we want to have fun. We want to celebrate all that God has done, and then really paint a picture for how people can come alongside for the future.
Okay, we'll paint that picture right now. So how can people get there? How can they register?
Okay, so they can go to our website, declarenomore.com/gala, and they can find all the information there. If you can't find it on the website for some reason, just find the contact info, call us, we'll help make it possible. I know you guys will probably post, a link to the website for that, but they can find information there. We want as many people in the room as possible, again, because we want to paint this picture that together we declare no more. It's not Jamie and Tammy and our team, or it's together. It's all of us, because it's going to take all of us to really tackle these issues.
This is Saturday, October 11th. What time does it start?
It starts at 6 p.m. and we're going to be walking people through the decades. So when you walk in, you're going to be modern day, and as you wander through to the silent auction, you're going to find Doc's Garage in 1985, and then we're decorating the ballroom as the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. And we've got a band all set up and ready. It's going to be fun. Again, we'd love to have the community out. Tickets will be available. I know this show is going to air maybe a couple of days before, but reach out. We want to have as many people there as possible. And we're excited for it.
It's on the 11th. And there, also at the point that that we're seeing this, it is October 1st and 2nd, so you still have time. And we're going to be showing you on the screen again how you can do this. People can give even if they can't attend, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we need it. We need it. There's a phrase, no money, no mission, right? Like we want to do the work, and there is so much growth. I mean, there's so much that I could share. I know we're limited at 10 minutes, but there's so much growth, and there's so many ways that people can get involved. They can be an ambassador. They can host a training.
Yeah, I love that ambassador idea.
Yeah, we just launched our ambassador team this year, and we've got a passionate group of business owners, young professionals, young retirees, like people in all different ages and phases of life using their voice to amplify the work. And we need as many of those people as possible as well. And so there's a lot of ways people can get involved. You know, you can email me at tammy@declarenomore.com, and I'll help connect you. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. And so we're just grateful.
You know, and we are out of time, but what would you say? You feel like you probably have a picture of somebody in your mind. A life's completely changed. A number. Can you just give me one number of how many people you have touched, and particularly with trafficking? That I know so many people are concerned about that.
Yeah.
You've got some serious number of people you've helped with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got hundreds and hundreds of women that have come out of trafficking. Like I said, that 475 number, I'm probably low, honestly, because I know that number was pulled from some of our older reports, but hundreds and hundreds of women are coming out of trafficking. Wow. So many children are finding safe and loving homes, and we are making a difference. And so the message to the audience is, everyone can do something. Yeah. Do something. What's your something? Find it. And if you don't know what it is, give us a call. We'll help you find it.
Okay, we'll end on that note. On the screen, you're going to see the gala information again. You can do that immediately for that, but year-round. We'll be right back with more Bay Focus. Well, we're back, and as promised, we are going to take you around the world today through planting seeds in the ground, literally, for agriculture to grow food. Amazing missions organization that we haven't had on for a while, and we're so happy to have back Hope Seeds International. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So glad to have you guys. And we have David and Maxine Balsbaugh, who are the founders and yes, their husband-wife team as well, which we love to have on the show. But for our viewers that don't know, one of the cool things of what you do is you are really trying to literally go around the world, the missions work you do, to create ability for people to sustain themselves with food and farming, et cetera. And there's a way you do this. And Maxine, I'm going to let you tell our viewers what you do.
Okay, well, thank you. So yeah, Hope Seeds was founded in 1999 in Bradenton, and Dave's been directing it for 7 years now. And so we've been serving, and Hope Seeds does reach around the world. It started in Haiti with outreach there, and that's our primary area, and then expanded throughout the world, and especially focuses on what's called the 1040 window. If you're familiar with that, the area of the world where people really rely on growing their own food for just to sustain their lives, and also are the least reached for the gospel, the least likely to have actually heard the truth of the hope we have in Jesus Christ. So that's where Hope Seeds comes in. We said, how can we share Christ's love in action and truth? So we want to share Christ's love in a tangible way so that they can hear the gospel. Because if you're starving, if you have your children are starving, how can you really receive the truth that Jesus loves you if there's no solution? And so Hope Seeds does actually provide seeds, literal garden vegetable seeds to grow. And we provide a large assortment. We have about 45 varieties we select from and customize it according to the country, the area that it's going to. So we've got about 60 countries that we serve in around the world. Last year was 27 countries, to give you some idea.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah,
it's really
exploding growth, my goodness.
Yes. And so we put them together, and we actually rely on volunteers to do our packaging of the seeds. We get them in big 50-pound bags.
Yeah, show that.
And so they get put together into this, which is called a Hope Garden Family Pack. And it will have, first of all, the gospel. We always want to present the gospel and the truth. And then it also has about 12 varieties of seeds. So we're covering a broad spectrum of nutritional needs, things that will be marketable in where they can actually sell excess produce. And this family pack will provide enough food, theoretically at least, for a family of 6 for a year. Wow. I know. I just think of this little package and all these seeds, the ability to reproduce seeds, because they're all open pollinated, which means that you can save the seed and reproduce the same plant again, generation after generation. So really, the full impact and how long this can go on and reproduce is, we don't know. Only God does, so until Jesus comes.
And then how do you distribute, and then we're going to show some pictures after this, but how do you distribute these? Do you partner with on-the-ground organizations?
Absolutely. It's 100% about partnership, because we work with over 400 partners, probably. Last year was 150 partner organizations that are documented, and then those partners share with other partners, because that's what we are as the body of Christ. We work together. And so it'll be missionaries, orphanages, schools, just a lot of different avenues.
There's a lot just under those three categories.
I know, they're kind of, even here, community gardens. And
so you do some of that here?
We do things here in the U.S. as well, yes. Community gardens, we work with migrant, the farm workers, and all kinds of different communities. It's really an opening. The whole purpose really is of the beginning of this is to open the door to share the gospel. This is just the tip. The tip of the sword, as Dave likes to say. And it goes on from there to education, and then programs. I was just going to say,
the education side of what you do is huge.
Yeah, it really is. This is just the beginning. This is just to open that door and say, here, we love you. Christ loves you. Let me give you something to start now.
So you actually teach them some of the farming side of it. All right. There's some different initiatives I want to make sure we have time to get to, so we don't run out of time. You do we're going to show some pictures that will be a general update, but you have a couple programs, and you'll tell us, called Widow Seed and Mustard Seed programs. So we're going to go to some pictures. Tell us what we're seeing, David.
Okay, so one of the programs that we started was called the Mustard Seed Project, and that was started a few years ago in Haiti. We were working with an organization called Psalms 139 Love.
Yes, Monday Focus. Yay.
We were down there. We were doing some follow-up and also doing some consulting work with them with their agriculture training center. And we were out in the community where we found this young lady that's up there right now with the watering can. And she was just sitting on their porch crying. And she had 3 young children, had lost every means of being able to support her family. She lost her husband. And so we found that need and we said, man, there's so many needs out there that's being unmet. And so I said, let's start a program based off of this young lady named Samantha. And we went in, we helped her get some land, we helped her get started in gardening so she could take care of her family of 3. And she is now healthy. You can see her in this picture. She's now healthy and is able to do that. And so we started a whole program around that called the Mustard Seed Project, which is a small investment expecting a large outcome. And since we started this program, we had over now 200 projects and 20-some countries that we work in. And so it's expanded since this time. It could be something as small as starting a poultry operation. It could be something with water. It could be a wheelchair for somebody. It's just an unmet need that might have a big, lasting impact. And now Samantha, now that she's healthy and is able to care for her family, is helping others and sharing Christ with those that's around her.
So I think the pictures we're seeing are a variety of programs, right?
You're seeing a lot of different programs. And another one we did in Kenya since the last time we were here is called the Widow's Seed Project. And we were partnering with an organization called Liberty Faith Ministries in Kenya. And they identified a need where a lot of these ladies that lose their husbands are basically being forgotten. And so we didn't want them to be forgotten. We wanted to meet the needs to help them to be able to feed their families. So we started going into these communities. We started with 7 different villages that we targeted and said, well, let's get organize these ladies. We'll come in with missionaries. We'll do the training in agriculture and gardening skills. We'll provide seeds. We'll make sure they have land. You saw a picture of a well because a lot of these communities don't have water. So we had to make sure they had everything that was needed for them to be able to grow their own food and have water available. And so we started this program. It's called Widow's Seed. We wanted to make sure these ladies also not only learned agriculture, but they also learned some business skills to be able to take the produce that they have, marketed in their markets, and be able to provide income for their families.
Wow, I love this.
And so the Widow's Seed also, so to go a step further, they would produce seed that we would buy back, and which also provided an extra income that we would help distribute the seed even further throughout more communities in Kenya. And so some of the impact that it had, it was one that we didn't even realize as we were doing this program and we were doing a discipleship and a follow-up. We do a discipleship program in every community. And a follow-up, we ended up having to have a lady counselor go in because of the human trafficking needs. And we were shocked on how many of those ladies that were tempted or already had sold their children into human trafficking. And so a big need was if they can provide and they have food and income, that prevents that temptation from selling their kids into human trafficking in the first place. Getting them out of human trafficking is very difficult. We did that with 2 children, but that was a very long, tedious process. So we focused on helping the widows be able to provide these incomes for their families.
What are we seeing here?
So this here is part of our general outreach. You want to?
Yeah, so those are boxes of seeds. So 250 of these family packs fit into one box. And like last year, we sent over around 1 million seeds. And this is an event where volunteers are packing seeds.
I love that.
But those boxes, those were going down through Agape Flights, and then one was Missionary Flights International to just reach so many people. I just can't get over how much it's grown.
I love that. That's what's been grown.
That's what we want to see. Yeah, we want to see the joy.
We call it the money shot.
That's
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. Oh, look at that. And they're being trained.
So that's actually a vocation. That's a VBS program, Vocation Bible School, where we have people in Haiti that does this training. So they're helping the next generation of kids to get them out of whatever trouble they might be in, focused on growing food and providing for their families.
I just can't get over the level of growth that I see. That since you've been on the show last, you work. Now it's important to say, obviously, you get the gospel out and you do all the tangible growing the seeds. It's important to say too that you work with a lot of different churches, organizations.
We do.
Tell us how you're interdenominational, correct? Tell us how you do that.
Interdenominational. So we have seed packing events throughout Florida. Anybody can be a part of this, and so we have different churches. We have Lutheran churches, Nazarene, Baptist, you name it. That come alongside of us and pack seeds. And so that's 100% we're reliant on people packing seed. We buy the seed in bulk. We do some research to find out what seeds are best, and we purchase that in bulk seeds. And we break that down into buckets that go out to all these churches, and they do the individual packing, and then we put it together in a family pack depending on what country it goes to. And so we are not able to do that without volunteers. So that's the way we're able to do this.
Well, okay, so this brings me to how can our viewers help the most? You guys are a ministry, nonprofit organization. How can they help? This doesn't come, for free, all of this.
Yeah.
So how can they help you?
Yeah, so we're always looking for volunteers and new church partners. And so that's always a big need. We always have needs in our office because we like to say we're mean and lean. Our organization, we try to keep our overhead expenses very low. So we rely very heavily on volunteers, even working in our office. So we're always looking for help.
Pretty much completely.
Completely,
It's
yeah, we have
one part-time person besides us.
Besides us, so it's the ministry has doubled since we were here last time. We were sending about 500,000 packets a year. Now we're up around 1 million. So we've doubled the size of what we're doing, the outreach, and of course, finances is always the more that we get,
so
the more we're able to help.
Just
yes, always able to donate. Yes, always able to donate to help us out. So.
Yeah, that's just a huge thing. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on. I love the fact that you guys partner with a number of organizations you partner with. We're familiar with here at CTN.
Right.
Of course, we've done quite a bit here at CTN in Haiti ourselves, doing different things, including Love a Child, which you've worked with.
A big partner.
Yeah, that's a big, and so they are very well known to us here at CTN. But God has just expanded your borders, and so blessings on your ministry. Thank you.
Well, thank you
so much for coming on today.
Yeah, and thank you for having us.
And we've been watching, you've been seeing what an impact. You look at this, they just said it's them and a part-time person. So you go, all this, just what can be accomplished just with those, but with all the volunteers that are needed. So if you're ever looking, saying, I need, want to do something for the kingdom of God, this is your chance. I hope you volunteer and help Hope Seeds International. We're going to put their contact info on the screen. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank my guest today, Hope Seeds International, which I hope you'll support. We just talked with them. I do want to say the organization has been in existence for 26 years, that the Ballspaws are not the founders, but they were worked alongside from the beginning and are the CEO and executive directors. But also the No More Foundation. Boy, if you can get involved in their gala, if you can help support what they're doing to combat human trafficking and helping with foster care, please do. Thank you for tuning in. Connect with us. See you next week. God bless.